Welcome everyone to EA Global Summit 2021. This is Sujat from EA Global Summit organizing team. It's our privilege to have Jacek in our presence, the business solution architect from insurance industries, EAUG Poland FB Group founder, EA and Prolabrid expert, presenting why EA sometimes fails. And I also thank everyone for your interest in joining this session. And for your kind information that we will be muting all the participants throughout the session. So please use the chat window to drop your questions to the speaker. Your queries will be answered at the end of the session. We request everyone to visit the allotted Microsoft Teams channel to communicate with JSEC and other EA practitioners after the session. JSEC and the other speakers accepted to stay in the channel to have a one-on-one discussion and answer all your queries. The link to the MS Team channel is posted in the chat window for your quick reference. If you have any difficulties in connecting to Teams, please let us know through the chat window or write us at registrations@eaglobalsummit.com. Thanks once again for your interest and support to EA Global Summit 2021. Without any further ado, I'll request Jacek to start his presentation. Over to you, Jacek.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. With some latency, but we can start. Today, I would like to take you to the journey and share with you with my experiences with implementation of enterprise architect environment in companies and why this implementation sometimes fail. My idea is not to focus on the failure, but more to give you some advice how to not fail. And I have a few experience that shows that it's possible. So let's start. A few days ago or lately, I have found that working with business stakeholders can be easy, even using such a sophisticated tool like Enterprise Architect. And in this case, Prolabrid and previously EA Docs helps me a lot. So I'll try to show you how Prolabrid makes a difference to me because of using this tool right way. A few words about me, who am I? I'm business solution architect in the industry company. I'm, of course, enthusiast of usage enterprise architect. Lately, a few years ago, I have found the Prolabrid, which was for me a huge game changer. So I decided to deep dive in this solution and try to be some kind of expert to use these tools to efficient way. Based on it, I have set up my startup, which I called OneRepo to rule all. And the way to rule all for me is Prolabrid. Short agenda about my today's presentation is, first of all, we'll try to find out why the enterprise architecture fails. What is the reason? What are the circumstances that can provide to this situation? Then I will tell you a few words about challenges and experiences which I am struggled with and which make this implementation process to be hard. In the middle of my presentation, I would like to focus on the problem, where I will show you how to collect data, and based on this data, provide interesting viewpoints to the stakeholders, how to do it. And finally, how to collect information and work with this information each time if it's possible. Yeah. So let's start with Simon Sinek's golden circle. First of all, why? Why enterprise architects fail as a tools? Why this implementation sometimes are not as sufficient as we expect? Why communication fails in usage such a tools? And finally, why we are not successful? My first answer is Babel Tower. We try to engage to this initiative people from different galaxies. This is people that they talk different languages, and communication is the most crucial thing that we need to manage. So bubble tower is the first issue that we need to struggle with. Second is ivory tower. Ivory tower for me means that there is a group of people who are well educated. They know fancy languages like Archimate, BPMN, UML, SysML, and so on, and they try to force other people to use the same language as they are. It will not succeed. So the challenges, from my perspective, are the communication with many people from different domains, different languages that they are talking. Collection of information. This is the main issue, because to get people that have up-to-date information sometimes is impossible, because people are busy. Understanding and noticing the obviousness. Sometimes when we talk with someone, it will occur that some problems for these people are obvious, and they do not want to tell us that we should consider any other information that can have some influence on our environment. A combination of this all information, even if they are up to date together, is a huge challenge. And this is the main problem that I struggle with, how to provide information to the people to make the meetings effective. And here we arise another problem, providing an interesting viewpoint with an attractive shape. Engaging people to work together, another huge challenge, because we are all busy. Dealing with difficult subjects using simple techniques. This is another problem that we need to fight with. Providing access to the information with minimum effort. Again, we are busy, we have no time to spend hours on the meetings, so we have only 10 minutes sometimes to get someone to the interaction and get some information from him. So this feedback is crucial. And finally, good habits of using analysis and synthesis. This is another challenge that should be considered under process of development and implementation of enterprise architect and the whole environment in the company. So here arises a question, when it is too much, when we have too much information to be managed, to not go crazy. Question, how to work with people from different galaxies and to not fail with, obviously, good approach, which is using EA. My answer is less means more. We are always late. There is never not enough time to prepare and documentation. Sometimes we think that documentation is worthless. We don't need documentation because we just know. What if we can spend similar time to provide all needed information and to not work hard? What if we can keep all important information with minimum effort up to date? And this is an example what I have done a few months ago that proves me that I'm right. In one project, we have about five meetings by 3 hours, and we still talk. We have just a draft of an idea. All was stored in Excel sheets. Some task was defined in Jira or Confluence. There are pieces of information, and still on the beginning of the project, it was impression present on each participant of this project. So impression of being spaced out was present every time, and it leads to the passive possession of many participants of this project. This picture really can be taken on the meeting. So I decided to change this perspective and try to engage people to work together. So after 2 meetings by 2 hours, we have drawn full business process diagram from scratch. All information has been placed on the right place. We have built and first of all designed and then built multidimensional model which contains business processes with activities, with description. We talk a lot about data, input and output data, and we put the information on place about this data. Supporting system, it was the crucial question, how we support these business processes. So we put the right information about these systems and connect this to the business process activities. So after these two meetings, we have very good understanding of the context by everyone who was engaged in designing the solution, and awareness of what should be done to improve was present as well. So this is two approaches, some tools versus right tools. What has changed in this approach and my experience in this project? First of all, we start ask right questions. So to the business, we ask the questions, what is your mission? What is your driver? Why we are here? What is this meeting for? Then we ask them, what do you struggle with? What are your concerns today, a few days ago, and what it can be in the future? What kind of data you deal with? What kind of data you need to work and produce some information as a result of your processes? And finally, what can support you now and what it can be in the future? So the actual present state was the basis, the foundation of this discussion, and then sky was the limit. So we tried to find out the to-be architecture that shows the future state of our mission, our project. Process has been drawn, not only told what it's about. Every participant of this project was present and listened to. So everyone can have chance to speak and has been listened to. All information has been properly drawn. So, you know, we need to remember that we are modelers, not the painters. So we need to model, not draw, only draw the pictures. Everyone have access to this information as equal because it was our model. And all felt the authors of and the owners of this model. So finally, one good picture equals more than 1,000 words. So we start to use right pictures and these pictures have been drawn using right tools. In result, after 2 days workshop, first day, we focus on modeling the process as a draft and collect of information from subject matter expert that they can provide. And after this meeting, it took me less than 1 hour to use this information, confirm, put this information to the model, draw another picture, draw in brackets. So I model with some viewpoint that helps me a lot to confirm of model correctness, and then we go to the conclusion. Only 2 days, and we've done all the work needs to be done. So this is how it can be, and this is how it looks like. Again, Simon Sinek, how he made it. It was pretty easy approach because we start with drawing the business process. This is the perspective that our business SMI know the best. So all we need to do was to draw the activities, draw the flow, and ask people from the business, guys, put to this place, which was presented in Collaborate, information about what are you doing in this particular activity, what kind of data you are struggling with. So what is data in, what is data out, and what kind of system can help you with your work and with your day-by-day activities. Then has been made some magic, and second day we've met with such a picture. Reaction My Business was like that. How you can draw it, how you can do it. It was pretty easy because I just used a few of notations. This is not so correct because this is mix of BPMN and Archimate. But for this example, it is good enough to explain what it is behind this magic. So you need to only collect information which is accessible in the particular time from the people that you have contact, and you can ask them for this information. And on the second day, or even at the same meeting, you can provide such a picture, which leads to the feeling from the business side that, yeah, we've done it. This is the way how we want to work. After this project, I have a few discussions that people from business tells me, okay, we've done with MS Word documentation, we've done with MS Excel sheets, we want to work this way, and this is the way. Sometimes less is more. So examples of perspectives that you can work with this manner, there's again, sky is the limit. You can use application user viewpoint from Archimate. You can provide some application lifecycle management to show the lifecycle of your applications. You can build end of life of technology stack using multi-dimensional model that provides this information. All perspectives you ever dream of are accessible. So less paperwork can help to justify that usage of enterprise and in this case Prolaborate can be more effective way to communicate and to move your project forward. So how to start? Design your model with all stakeholders. So we do not try to force people to use some notation. Let's do it together. Gather all information you need. Sometimes you can use some non-formal data collection tools like Event Storming or something like that. But after this, you should use dedicated tools to collect this data in a formal way. As much as you use standard notation, this helps you a lot in the future. Ian Mitchell says that this is MML, that what we should avoid, my modeling language. So yeah, I'm agree. Let's use standards because it will help us in the future. On the one hand, because it's understandable by more people. Second, the tools has embedded some rules that are connected to these notations. Then we should put all together to the right shape and the optimal range into the repository. Then we need to share, accept, go further, and go to 10 like in BASIC. Just we need to use some iterational process to collect and work with this information. What is important? We should remember that this repository should be available and useful for all mankind, all people that want to get access to this information, and people who can benefit from this knowledge base. So each stakeholder should find the information he needs. Information should be provided in the understandable shape and expected range. This is the, maybe I will go back for a while. You remember this slide, when it's too much. I felt after 10 years where I tried to implement my methodology that I gave to the people too much information to work with. We need to focus their consciousness on the particular problem to be solved at the particular moment in time. This is the way how to go further with implementation of EAs and knowledge base based on these tools. Okay, let's go here. Make fancy and attractive dashboard. And here, Prolaborate is the master, really, because we have a lot widgets that we can provide for our stakeholders to provide information in very attractive way. Show progress. This is really important to make people feel that we are moving forward. This is nothing worse than turning around in the circle and trying go further and feel that is not able to. And finally, use review to stay focused on important things and leave behind what is useless and not important. And what is not important, people will tell you. So only the focuses that can help us communicate will work. So this is my advice. Do not force people to go through the MS Word documentation, to the hundreds of pages of SharePoint, because it's, from my perspective and my experience tells me, it's not working. It's a waste of time. And finally, what I have done. I'm tired of using MS Word as a knowledge base. It's really hard to find information that I'm looking for at the particular moment at the time. So going through the 600 pages MS Word documents is a curse for me, really. Looking for knowledge about the existing solution from Excel sheets, again, it makes me really tired, and it's waste of my time and of my potential that I can work with on other issues. Asking people where and why you put this information here. There's a lot of places that you can find different pieces of information that you need to combine, and you should provide the interesting viewpoints. I have to access knowledge base on SharePoint. This is always when I ask someone, give me access to information, he gave me the shortcut to the SharePoint and tell me, look, here you will find all you need. And I am trying to log in. As usual, you have no access. During sentence business does not understand what is this yellow box with arrow. This is not true. My business understands very well what is business process, what is component, what is business function, what is data object, what is business object. There is no problem. Just we need to start together. And finally, Jira ROX Confluence too. There is a lot of problems because people treat Jira as a case tool. It's not a case tool, really. It's very good, but project tool, it's issue tracker, not case tool. So from my perspective, Prolabore is the solution that helps me a lot to work with such environment. And my whole environment, almost whole, because I have a lot of different third-party solutions. I'm equipped like a Marine, almost like Navy SEALs soldier. But yeah, this tools really helps me to work effective way. So my process automation is based on Prolaborate, which is starting point for all my projects. Then I will go back for a while to Enterprise, only to correct some pictures, some views, but all the data is kept in the in Prolaborate. Sometimes with legacy customers, let's call it legacy, there is need to provide some paper documentation. In this case, I'm using eDocs, which works very well. Confluence, of course, we can integrate Confluence with Prolaborate, but from me, this is, from my point of view, this is not necessary because Prolaborate can provide this information as we need. So this is the theory. So if you let me, I will try to switch to the Enterprise Architect, and I'll try to show you how I am working with this approach. First of all, we need to define some packages. I always say that the order makes order. So first of all, we need to focus our participants of our initiative on the right perspective. So first of all, I will draw the business domain perspective, maybe because I have already done an example, but maybe I will choose the new one. Let's start from the scratch. So this is my business domain. Yep. Here I will put the package called business processes. My first business process will be here, one, and here, as you expect, I will produce the diagram using the Archimate notation, and it will be called process one. Here I will ask always my fellow and dear business guys what this process is about. Let's call it sales process. Okay, this is what I need to start with. Then I show them, okay, so what kind of information we need to make this process alive? Customer, maybe some product. It needs to be sold by this process. Yeah, only objects and right. As you see, enterprise helps me a lot to decide what kind of relation should I use. Ian has told today a lot of the relations and the right usage of the relation. So business process have access to the business objects. Of course, from business perspective, I need to have some event that starts and fire up this process. So I will use business event and I will call it as a need. This is a need, this is a process, not flow. Event triggers the business process. Of course, this business process can have some can trigger another event, or can trigger some other can provide some products. Let's call our product of this process invoice. Okay, this is all I need to done. This is all need to be done in enterprise. Now I will switch to the collaborate here. And this is how I work with our business. I ask my guys, oh, I need to save it. Guys, this is our process. Can I ask you to fill all information I need about this process? So, description. And my business tells me this is sales process run on site. Okay, what kind of data you need? Data in customer data, product, what this process can produce, data out. Okay, invoice. And what can support you in this process? Systems. This is the missing part of this, what I have done in Enterprise Architect. So they tell me they use some CRM, maybe some ERP, and I don't know, some FI system for invoicing. They save all this information. They can do it on the meeting or after the meeting. What it needs to be done, I just need to refresh my package, and here package, or sometimes I need to refresh my project. It depends. All information I need to have are on place. What's more, I can ask them, because I'm not so advanced in this domain. I can ask them, guys, tell me what is the customer description of customer, and so on. This is the way how we work with our business. Oops, you need to remember, use this green button and customer data to save it. Product, again, definition of a product of sales, and so on. So here is the way how my business is working with me, and how they deliver to me important information about, let's say, present state of the process. But here, as you see, they put me information about systems that are involved in this process, and I can ask them in the future what we want to achieve. CRM2 and FI and some kind of cloud solution. Okay, So this is the way how we can produce some kind of perspective, what kind of future state we want to achieve. I can, of course, use fancy and very useful feature in Prolaborate. I can launch this diagram directly from the browser. So there is no need to looking for this diagram because of diagram editor, I can find this information here. So I have data up to date. I can use it. How I should do it? You remember, order makes order, so I need to provide another package, which I called application domain. Okay, and here we will provide the catalog of systems. And here, as you expect, we will put the information about applications. As I remember, yeah, I need to have CRM, ERP, FI. Okay. CRM, ERP, and FI. Okay. As you know, from the definition of Archimate, we can use for this reason, or I have this Archimate specification. Viewpoint 8.4.11 application usage viewpoint tells me how will I use or how I support my business processes by applications. Between the application and the process, I should provide the services. I can do it or I cannot. It depends on me. What is my model? For this example, I will use straight connection from application to the process. I will use serving relation. Oops, sorry, not here. Serving, it should be here. And I have first perspective that I can use on the meeting. It's only need to be saved. Okay. For my customer. Okay, magic has done. Now we have more complete picture of how we want to support our business processes. Of course, this is the starting point of our discussion. Now we can go further and deeper and try to model some analysis and product landscape. Again, how to do it? Easy way, analysis and project. Here I will draw the business process flow. So I need to have business process model and notation package. Here I can put using, for example, wizard, BPMN. Let's use this one. Okay. Sure. I have my business process, and now we can discuss about features that we need to provide based on these applications, features that we have already or we need to have in the future. Easy way, I need to switch to the perspective of requirements, which is here. I will use business requirement to define business concern. Business concern 1, and this concern is connected to the activity 1. Again, requirements, business concern 2 can be connected to the activity, this time F. It doesn't matter. What is important? Based on this diagram, I can redirect my customer's perspective from the architectural one to the product. How to do it? Again, pretty easy way. I will do. All my business friends know that if there are some glasses on the object, that they can go deeper. So let's select composite diagram, which is here, in the new analysis business process. I want to show them this one. Yeah, there are the classes. We can go deeper and we will see how it works in Collaborate. Again, just refresh. It needs to be done. Okay. And here I can ask, guys, we draw the business process. Just tell me, what do you need in this activity that can you help you with? So I need to have customers dictionary, for example. Say here I need to send the invoice. Again, I need to send invoice. Look, I'm using the natural language. I'm not to try and force my people to use some specification. This is required to have some functionality description. No, this is not the way. Just use as simple language as you can. The best way is to use natural language of my customers because it helps to understand each other. Again, I can go back to the enterprise and I will make some order. This is the business process. So here, they shouldn't be the requirements. So I need to provide the package, which will be called requirements. Let's call them business. And we just need to shift this to the right place. Of course, I can do some diagram using the requirements shape. I can put here this as a link. I can enable, for example, some Kanban to see all possible states for my let's use status field from pending. So okay. As you see, we have my two requirements. Of course, I can decide that this one is approved. Here, this one is still proposed. So again, going back to the enterprise, I will start from scratch. And here, new analyst requirements. And here we can discuss about our requirements and so on, so on. This technique will work for each stage of your project. So you only need to engage your people from business side. You need to work using Enterprise Architect and provide information you want to share and want to exchange information about each particular object using Collaborate. This is it. All the rest is just your fantasy and goal you want to achieve. I prepared before a viewpoint that I will show you now. Okay, a Google Summit, which looks like this. Okay, and this is come on. And this is the example how we can work with our business customers. First of all, we need to go here. We can go to the process flow from this perspective. We can go to the requirement tab and see what is happening. Look, it took me less than 20 minutes to prepare the repository, which will be well known by all my participants because we work together. We design it and we collect this information together. So everyone on the meeting will know what was happened here, what we are talking about. This is an object, this is a service, this is a role which is involved to the process realization, and behind this, we can provide the business process with pools and lanes, of course, that will represent some units of your organization, and so on, so on. We are going to the perspective for the project realization that allows you to decide what it can be done in this stage. Of course, here you can connect with Jira. You can provide this information to the Confluence if you wish to. You can do whatever you want, because this is such flexible approach. So this is what I was wanted to show you as an example how you can succeed with Enterprise Architect with no starting point with trying to teach people how to use Enterprise Architect, but to engage people to work with the tools just as equal. This is not, believe me or not, it took me 15 minutes to convince my business to start work this way. Yeah, this was the first stage where we tried to define the business environment. Then we go to the viewpoint, where we showed the support. So this is the application usage viewpoint that shows how it works. Here, in the meantime, I have produced the catalog for the applications and services. This is another viewpoint that shows the cooperation of application. So I have a part of my architecture landscape for systems. From here, I can go using navigation cell to the application landscape. From here, I can go to the usage viewpoint for the business, and I can navigate through this model. So only your, let's say, creativity will be the border of what you have and what you can provide for your customers. Yeah. So going back to the presentation, why we sometimes fail with EA. This is my experience that I want to share with you. So I was trying to collect too much information. This kills me with this initiative because it was too much. For some people, it was too much to work with such huge amount of information. Information was not up to date, so this impression was useless. So only information that you can keep up to date will work. So all what is not up to date, just drop it to the trash. Trying to engage people to work hard versus work wise. So we need to focus only on one problem, one issue at the time, not try to solve and save the world, really. One problem at one time. We were talking different languages, so that was the issue, and we tried to define some different perspective versus work together on the same perspective. I was talking to my colleagues too sophisticated language because it was in EA, so I have used some fancy and different sentences, the hard to understand terms. This is what we need to avoid. Asking people to use Enterprise Architect. Really, for some, it's too complicated. So do not force people to use such tool like Enterprise Architect. Just engage them to work together. If you are an expert of Enterprise, that's great. You can use it. But you should have such a tool like Collaborate to share what you have done in Enterprise via Collaborate to your stakeholders in the right shape. In Jira, MS Excel, MS PowerPoint, and any other tools, that was the impression that is much easier. Maybe it's easier on the short term, on the short stage of your project. But if you look to the huge projects, it will come the time that it will be hard to find an information and hard to work with such a huge amount of information that is collected in different tools. So one knowledge base, well designed, well managed, and you need to provide right shape of information. So at the end, use right and dedicated tools for a particular purposes. Build communication based on the tools wisely. and different tools and approaches depending on the scale of the project. If for someone yellow stickers works, I'm fine with it. But there is a lot of projects that people try to use yellow stickers and they are failed. So you need to decide which way you want to follow. Do not lose your skills and good habits for modeling the work. It really works. It's really helping. As you saw in my example, it is really a short way to find out what is the information about and what are the dependencies. Adjustments should be embedded in the process for delivery of the solution. So if you want to implement enterprise, you should every month or even every sprint in your project do some review and try to find out what is working, what is not. And this should be the good practice. And at the end, avalanche versus snowball effect. Try to not engage too much people at once. Try to find some people that will help you and build this knowledge base step by step, piece by piece. Collect some information, try to define right meta model, which is definition of architecture of information of your knowledge base, and try to find the working viewpoints. Yeah, so this is it from me. I hope I will succeed with my time. If there are some questions, I'm more than happy to answer.
Thank you so much, Jacek. I thank Jacek on behalf of everyone for making this session a wonderful one. As we can see that there are no questions asked yet, but audience can still ask their questions in MS Teams channel.
Okay, so I will be available on the MS Teams channel for a while. So if you have some questions, some reflections, do you like it or not, feel free. I'm still there.
Sure, Jacek. Thanks. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Jacek. Thanks to everyone for your time and support throughout the session. Hope it is very informative and gives a deeper insight into the topic. Now, as Jacek said, he will be available in MS Teams to have a detailed discussion and answer more questions. The link to the MS Teams channel is posted in the chat window for your quick reference. If anyone is having any difficulties in connecting to Teams, please reach us out in chat window or write us at registration@eaglobalsummit.com. Thanks once again, everyone, and looking forward to host you all in another wonderful session shortly. Thanks, Jacek. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Bye-bye. You too. Have a good day.